Hi, I'm Stephen Rosley, and I own Rosley's Rocks and Gems here in Chicago. And this is our second YouTube video. We're going to be doing a lot more. In the future, we'll have videos about individual stones and crystals and their healing qualities. But in this episode, I'd like to talk about how I got involved in stones and crystals. I had spent 20 years in the corporate world. And back in 1991, was what I call my year of transformation. During the first 9 months of the year, my father died. I lost the best job I ever had. I went through a really messy divorce while I was taking care of my mother with Alzheimer's. You know, what else could happen? You know, it's kind of like when Spirit comes in and knocks on your door and says, time to change, whispers, then gets louder and louder and goes, time to change. Time to change, and you don't listen, and all of a sudden you get hit over the head with a 2x4. That's what happened to me in '91. Well, the story goes, my father, when he retired, he took up the hobby of lapidary work, cutting and polishing stones. And he and my mom took cargo ships all over the world. They would be gone for 3, 4, 5 months at a time. And when he died, he left my brother and I over 500 pounds of stones and crystals and jewelry and you name it. We both really weren't interested. But what happened was that when my unemployment insurance ran out, I had become accustomed to eating. So I had to find a way to supplement it. So I decided to take some of the stones and crystals over to the local flea market. And I'll never forget, on that Saturday, coming back with $350 in my wallet, thinking, wow, hey, this is great. Now I realize I sold over $4,000 worth of stones and crystals. You know, you never know what the value of a stone is. I mean, you can go to one store and find a quartz crystal, and it might be $10, and you go to another store, and it might be $50 or $100. There is no Wall Street Journal that tells you what the value is. The only stone there is in existence is the most controlled substance on Earth, and that's a diamond. And those are always valued. You know that a VS and etc., all the different classifications. Well, you know, I found that I decided that I would start to go outside flea markets, and I started to make jewelry. And then I went into craft shows, and I also started to sell to local stores. And I decided in December of 1992 to spend the winter in Florida, because I felt that people who wear less clothes wear more jewelry. So I went around to all the different stores in the Chicagoland area and to sell my jewelry. And I noticed this one store in Lincoln Park. It was a cute little store where the guy who owned it lived upstairs. He had a little loft. So on the way down to Florida, I'm driving along and I put out to the universe, when I come back to Chicago in the spring, I want to find a place like that to move in so I can make jewelry during the week, keeping the door open, and on weekends do my shows. So I went to Florida, I met a shaman, I picked up all sorts of information about healing qualities of stones and crystals. And then when I came back to Chicago in April, I noticed an ad in the Monthly Aspectarian, which is our metaphysical newspaper here in Chicago, that this guy who had the store wanted to sell his business. So I went in and talked to him in May and told him, I have more inventory than you have. I would really be interested in the lease. And we negotiated, and I took over his business, which started June of 1993, which happened to be my 50th birthday present. I became a store owner. I've had one for 15 years now. Oops, you know how old I am. The interesting thing I found when I first got involved in stones and crystals at the flea market is I came out with a little healing chart of 10 different stones. And people would buy a stone, and then I'd give them the healing chart. And everybody would say, wow, do I need that? This is how I really got involved with the healing qualities of the stones. And we're going to go into other talks about different stones, their healing qualities, in later episodes. In fact, I'm planning to do 1 to 2 YouTube talks regarding different stones and crystals each month. If you want to find out more about stones and crystals, you can go to my website, crystalmaster.com. If you have individual questions you'd like answered, you can send me an email at info@crystalmaster.com, and you can sign up for our Rock Club, where I have over 3,000 members, and I do a newsletter twice a month, and you'll be informed of all the new stones and crystals that I run across at special prices. I want to thank you for watching this YouTube presentation, and looking forward to hearing from you and having you see other YouTube presentations. Thank you.